Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. I am Sunny here hosting with Caleb, and today we have a very special guest. We have RonintoadinYGO, better known as Micah. Welcome in, dude. How does it feel to be on?
Hey, guys. What's up? It feels great to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm ready to start this podcast.
Awesome. So, we're going to ask you a couple of questions about you, about your channel, just kind of, see how it feels to be you. Mostly, who are you? How did you, tell us about yourself. How did we hear about you? Where can we find you? Things like that.
Okay, well, my name is Micah, better known as RonintoadinYGO or Yu-Gi-Oh! I live in Seattle, Washington. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Since literally day one, and I'm just a huge follower of this lovely game that we call Yu-Gi-Oh! And just wanted to just jump on this stream and see what I can do with it in the very beginning.
Absolutely. So, you've been streaming for, how long now?
Just a couple months.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did that start for you? How did you, how did you decide, hey, this is something I want to do?
That's actually a really good question, because I don't really know why I started. I just downloaded the Twitch beta streamer thing, and I just started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And streaming myself, and got on Twitch, and people just started watching, and my friends kind of poked at me to keep doing it, so I just kept doing it.
I got you.
That's cool. I think that's how a lot of people get started with that kind of thing. So I gotta know, have you gone to any tournaments, or have you had any tops, that kind of thing?
Yeah, your experience with the game.
Yeah,
definitely. I've had a lot of tournament experience. I've been playing since day one. When I was about 12 years old, 2002, I want to say, and I played very mediocre, not that meta. I played Beast Down with Exodia in it before the GOAT ban list, and then I played Beast Down after that. Yeah, because Painful Choice and Card of Safe Return got you Exodia with the Mana Core of Darkness.
Right, and then I love Beast Down because literally Rescue Cat Last Will is just OTK.
Rescue Cat was the back then.
I mean, it still is. I love that card.
Oh yeah. I mean, all the rescue animals except Hamster.
Yeah, I actually really want Ferret to become super low-key underrated hype, and then boom, it just becomes an X amount of money card.
All my first edition secrets also want that.
So you said what decks I was playing and tournaments experience. I have been going to meta-based tournaments and playing in meta-based situations for the past 4 years. I started in 2000, maybe almost 5 years now, 2016. A girlfriend that
Okay, what format was that?
That was Monarch format, the Monarch structure deck format.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend, and we were in Target one day, and I saw the Monarch deck, and I just said, no way. Monarchs are back again. And before that, I mean, I still played off and on, but I took this really big break from Mermails when they got really good, and then Tidal got hit, to Pendulums. So that's a huge time skip. And so I picked it up, and my girlfriend at the time was online and looking at cards, and she's like, I like these Shadal cards. And I just shook my head, and I'm like, this is why I quit. I remember this. This is why I took my break, because of that 2014-15 era. And so I just got back in it. I also got Yosenjus, and I got Despots, and I still had the Mermail deck from my mom, and my mom mailed it out to me. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my mom has mailed me all of my cards that I had since childhood, including my common swap dupes and Ronins. I think I had, before I sold my big collection binder, I think I had a very, very original secret rare plasma from the GX days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and not to mention Frog OTK, before that got banned, like all my mermail cards, and so
Right.
and then so after that, I just started getting committed. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just actually get mermails back in my life, and I've always loved mermails. It's one of my favorite decks. And then Paleo Frog came along, and then it's just been those two since then, and then Plunder, and that's about it. Those are my top 3 decks that I've been playing for the past COVID year at least.
So right now you said it was Paleo, Plunder. I'm sorry, what was that third one?
And Mermail.
Mermail. Dude, that Mermail deck, people don't realize that deck is still really good.
Oh yeah, especially since they got Brio back.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that deck a lot.
I love that you can still win without the extra deck in Mermails. You can just Megalo OTK.
Like, yeah, literally. And
Oh yeah.
Mooling Glacier, start ripping cards out of your opponent's hand. Like, that deck's still good.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny. Long-time listeners of the pod, I say long time, 3-week listeners of the pod will know that we actually took our break around that same time, right before Duelist Alliance dropped. It was, it's because Duelist Alliance dropped that summer, Shadal's, Pendulums, all that. We dropped out the game right before that in response to some stuff getting stolen, as well as some, the announcement of the Pendulums. We weren't big fans of the idea. And we just got back in last year. So your time playing from Monarch to now is a lot of the time that we didn't play at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So in that time, what's your favorite format, man? What was a format that just sticks out in your mind that you were like, I loved the game at this time?
Oh, honestly, like if I have to go back in time and play any format, it's post GOAT all the way up to Dad format.
Really? So just that entire GX era?
That whole GX era is one of the best times of my life, but also like one of the weirdest times of my life. And man, it was just such an experience. That was probably my first Gladiator Beast was honestly my first real meta deck. Yeah.
That's awesome. You know what's funny is I remember my very first regional. No, I take it back. No, my first. We don't talk about that one. My second regional. I played against a Glad Beast deck. Keep in mind, this is 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
Because you were at that tournament, Caleb.
Yeah, I think Justin.
Fiat.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think Justin was there too.
Yeah, he got first place.
Yeah. Oh, the O-Fish incident.
Yeah, he was playing Wind Up. That was Shockmaster format.
No. It wasn't Wind Up. That was when he was playing Frogs.
No. It was after that.
Okay, yeah.
It was he was either playing Shocklock Wind Ups or he was playing Fire Fist. I think it was Wind Ups though, because Wind Ups are his favorite deck, and that's why, because he got like first at a couple of regionals with it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I remember that. I played against a Glad Beast deck, and to this day, I don't know what he was doing except things were going in and out very quickly.
Yeah.
And I beat him, and I don't quite know how or why. It was a long time ago, but
yeah.
Yeah, all I remember is the guy seemed like he was having a lot of fun, which is really the most important thing.
That's awesome. Gladiator Beast is just so many different variants of that deck. You can play go first, you can play go second, you can play traps, you can play no traps, you can play Link variant, you can play Tri-Brigade. There's so many different ways to play that deck.
Yeah, all the Glad Beasts are Beast Warrior, aren't they?
Beast Warrior, Beast. There's like a fish. There's I want to say an aqua or a sea serpent. Dinosaur, wing beast. Like there's a lot of them though are Tri-Brigade accessible.
Cool. Tri-Brigade adjacent.
Yeah. They're like the proto Tri-Brigade.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They're definitely pro Tri-Brigade.
So, is that your favorite deck, or do you have a different one that stands out?
All right. So, if you guys don't know this by now, I'm a water player, and
right.
I strictly only usually bring waters to a regional. But I'll tell you, Gladiator Beast is that deck for me, where if I can go back to a format tournament and be like, hold up, we're playing in 2007? I'll be right back. You know what I mean? And I just turn around and I just whip it out. I have a 2011 Glad Beast format deck that I love too. Sorry for the language.
No, you're good.
Cool. it's just my bread and butter for my history in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I miss that deck so much. But,
yeah, I know what you mean. I have a few decks that I miss it so much. Just, I mean, the one that sticks out to me is Geargia.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, that deck, for some reason, I've always gravitated toward machine-based decks. Whether it be Geargia, whether it be Pure Machina, back when the structure decks first came out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that deck. I would run limiter removals and Jinzos and just end
Cyber Dragon,
Oh.
Ancient Gear Soldier, or whatever.
Ooh.
Dude, I love that deck. So, and then now...
Oh my god, Earth
just-
Machine, yes.
Yeah, I'm almost done putting Machina and Finitrack together, and I'm going to enjoy it. I've got like 3 different decks I'm putting together right now. But
I call that the construction company deck.
I call it... We started calling it MIT.
Yeah.
MIT. I like that.
It's similar.
Machina and Finitrack, but also, the...
Yeah.
Technology College, Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just
because it sounds cool.
I can't take credit for that, though. I don't know where I heard that.
What are your favorite decks, though, besides Machina?
Oh, well, let's see. My favorite deck, which I'm actually in the middle of constructing right now because all the new support they have between when we got out and got back in is Madolche.
Yes. Candy Dot deck.
Oh yeah. I just always loved the way the deck played, how everything searched everything else. I'm only missing I'm only missing a couple more cards, and I can have the deck fully functional. It's gonna be great.
Hilariously, we spent, I think, like 20 minutes at the end of the last pod talking all about our favorite decks and stuff.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're talking about water, which is, that's me, I gotta go with Mermail and Paleo, but I also consider Plunder a water deck, even though it works around attributes.
Yeah, but it basically is a water deck,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
But have you guys noticed I didn't say Necros?
You know what?
Yeah,
I didn't notice it, but now that you say that.
Yeah, I noticed. I just didn't want to bring it up.
I just don't okay, I know everybody out there is listening right now and they're gonna be like, Ronin, you're crazy. But hear me out. I don't like the concept of ritual summoning.
That's entirely fair.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I played Drytron when the deck first came out, and I was like, yeah, I hate this.
Like, I like Gishki and I like Necros, and I even like Drytron. I respect them. But the bricks that I have statistically playing a ritual deck versus playing I have to go first in Paleo or I have to go second in Grin Maju, kind of like situations like that where you need the dice roll to count. I have more bricks with Necros and Ritual in general than I do with any of the other decks that I play, especially Paleo.
Right.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's entirely fair. Like, we don't like Pendulum. Well, Sonny doesn't like Pendulums very much. I just think they're okay. I don't think I'll ever actually play a Pendulum deck, though.
I gotta respect them, man. Like, the anime made it awesome, made it so cool, and again, sorry about the language. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It was just such a cool concept. Like, and that was also when I was getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm like, whoa! Pendulum summoning? What?
Like, what is
cool.
this?
And then I prayed. I was like, please, God, please give me a water deck. And guess what we got? Dino Mist. That deck is low-key amazing. Low-key amazing, bro.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know anything about Dino Mist except that they tried to get it through the creator card.
Yeah, they pushed it real hard.
They'll do it. They'll give it a link or something. I swear they will. But eventually, you never know when that'll happen.
Do they have any link-based pendulum decks?
No. Not that unless it's that Magistus card, but that's just one link, right?
Yeah. Oh, Sulficords have a link monster.
Do they?
Yeah. It's a deck where literally every monster in the deck is a pendulum monster, except their link monster who isn't even out yet.
Oh, that's the one coming out in Dawn of Majesty?
Yep.
The one that's supposed to break the deck?
It doesn't break it, but it's their wheels
Yeah.
to the engine that is the rest of the deck.
Right.
I really love Paleo, though.
You know, I've never played against Paleo. I was watching some of the highlights and what we were actually originally going to talk about today, and we got so just enthralled with what we ended up going with, but the Chalice line monthly put on by MBT, they had a paleo deck get, I think, top 4 maybe in that tournament.
No, I think it was top 8.
Regardless, it was really interesting to me to see it play in 2021.
Oh yeah, in the the Paleos are also getting that new Link monster in Lightning Overdrive. So that's going to be cool for them, I think.
I have mixed opinions on that card. A lot of mixed opinions.
Yeah,
that's entirely fair.
We never needed it, and it requires 2 Paleos, so you have to use you have to get 2 Paleos on field. So instead of making Toad, you're making that, and then they get banished, right? So then you're having to be like, okay, well, am I going to have to play Imperial Iron Wall? Well, that means I can't banish Ronin. So you start going down these different paths, and you start realizing, like, maybe this isn't the best 3 of in a Paleo Frog deck, because it can, like, non-target remove a back row, but it doesn't negate anything. It doesn't really do much to the deck that it wasn't already doing. It just helps the back row a little bit out, but it ruins the Paleos in the banish.
That's interesting.
And you see, this is exactly why we like to have people on the show, because we never would have thought of that.
Yeah, we don't know too much about Paleo, so it never would have even occurred to us.
So, Paleozoic Cambro roster, I'm just going to read the whole entire card out to you. There's one part of the card that I actually really, really, really love.
Yeah.
And let me just find that real quick. Doop. Alright, got it right here. So 2 Paleozoic monsters. Unaffected by other monster effects, as always, because they're Paleos. You can use only each of the following effects of Paleozoic Cambro roster once per turn. You can target 1 set card in the spell trap zone, sent to the grave. And if you do, set 1 Paleozoic trap directly from your deck. It could be activated this turn. If a set card you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from the field or graveyard instead. And it's just a 1200 attack, link 2. And the second part of that, where you get to set, that's great. But you have to target 1 set card in the spell and trap zone. And that could either be yours, or it could be theirs. But you're still having to rely on that, and you're still using your own resources. Which is something Yu-Gi-Oh! Has really taught me about trap playing. You're really, really watching your resources playing traps.
Right. So what's interesting, though, is it's not really like a mandatory auto-include, and if you do include it, it's maybe like a tech 1-of for situational spots, right?
Yes, and it could be cited out for, hypothetically, a super poly target or something, but that just depends on if you're looking for control or if your opponent is a threat.
Right. Interesting. So I do want to transition a little bit into our main topic, and I feel like our last question here actually does transition us in, which is, let's talk a little bit about the current format. Mainly, how do you feel about it? What are your feelings from the perspective of, whether somebody's a budget player or whether somebody's a non-budget player, mainly competitive? How do your opinion on the current format, how it sits?
Are we talking about, like, literally a couple days before Lightning Overdrive, or are we talking about when Lightning Overdrive comes out?
Probably when Lightning Overdrive comes out, because this podcast is actually going to air day of release.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I think Lightning Overdrive is definitely going to change the game up a little bit. I think that format is going to be pretty fun for me, because not only do I get the Paleo Link, but I get the Plunder Crow. So there's that. And I think that the meta for it, which I'm looking at right now, is actually, it's really not that bad. It's a little boring, but I get to have fun playing Rogue. A lot of Rogue decks still get to shine. Tri Brigade gets to make a bunch of decks good, which are, in my opinion, Gladiator Beasts are going to be pretty fun for me to play. I don't think it's going to be meta, but I think it's going to be definitely a Rogue-worthy contender in a small tournament or something.
Right.
And then you got Gosh, what else am I missing here? Can you guys help me out? What other top meta decks are going to be Lightning Overdrive?
Dinos.
Yeah.
Drytron.
Drytron. Oh, God, yeah. Okay, Drytron. Well, we already dealt with it before, and I tell everybody, you gotta side D-Barrier. That is the best, one of the best trap cards ever produced. And I don't know why people don't play it.
I think it might be something of... Is it neither player can special summon whatever type, or is it only your opponent?
I want to say neither.
I think it might be a little matchup dependent is the only thing, but even then,
Yeah.
I don't know that it's entirely not in everybody's, at least the side deck, right? I mean...
It's
I
a
think
great side.
I think it's one of those cards when people are trying to figure out their side decks. It might be in their early side decks, but they end up decking it out for something else at some point during development. It's not a bad card in any shape of the imagination, anyway. In my opinion, anyway.
Definitely, and for someone like me playing traps, like this is a great side for trap players. It's searchable with Trap Trick if you're playing Trap Trick in your deck. Also, it's just great going first card against Drytron, against Zodiac, or any Synchro, Ritual, Pendulum, Xyz, Fusion variant deck, whatever. But
which is like what 90% of all decks in the game,
right?
Anything not Monarch.
Anything that's not Monarch.
All we're missing is Drytron to get a link, and then we can start playing Warning Point.
Oh, yeah.
That is true.
But I forgot, we are getting Herald, and Herald is very cancerous, and it's going to make... But it's also good. It's going to make a lot of decks that are rogue somewhat faster and a little bit more speedy and capable of... Somewhat capable of keeping up with meta.
So... Just to transition a little bit, the main thing that I was hoping to talk about today was in this current format, in this June 2021 time, which we have about a month until, if somebody's listening to this in the future, we have about a month from now until the July 1st ban list, well, whatever day it comes out, we're basically heading into ban list season. And what we want to talk about is playing budget in this summer 2021 format. Some of the better decks you can play, some of the best staple options, some of the best maybe budget interchangeable cards, and the best way to really play this game on a budget in this particular format. So we did want to go over some of the main budget decks that you can play, and then we have some different budget categories. And at any time, feel free to just, if you have another one that fits, just throw it in,
Oh, absolutely. But first, just for the meme, I have to mention the $5 deck that... I have to mention that it's a thing. It's a whole deck you can build main and an extra deck. Probably not your side deck. You can definitely do the main and extra for $5. And it's basically appliancers with Waking the Dragon and Beals. You can double the deck cost by replacing Beals with Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon as another Waking the Dragon target.
Okay.
Which is hilarious.
I like this.
Shout out King Scarlet Yu-Gi-Oh!
Shout outs to King Scarlet.
That just absolutely boggled my mind when I saw that. Yep, you can build a whole deck for like $5.
Yep.
Close to max rarity, too.
Close to max rarity, because most of the stuff only has one rarity.
Right.
Just for the meme.
The main things, our main categories here was, we acknowledge that not everybody's on the same budget. Sometimes people's budgets vary. They could vary a little bit, they could vary a ton. The person that's on the $50 budget obviously cannot afford to play for, they cannot afford to play their Forbidden Droplets and, Invoke Shaddoll Dogmatica, which is, a $500 to $600 deck. Easy.
Yeah.
Easily.
Can't afford Lightning Storms, can't afford this, can't afford that.
Right. So, but even within the budget category, there's different levels of budget. There's I can't spend, $200, $300, $400, but I can spend $150, or I can't even spend that. Maybe I can only spend $100.
Or even just, I can only spend like $50.
Right. And there's ways to play this game in all of those budget ranges. So the main one that we're going to start with is obviously, we'll start low and work high. We'll start with the $50 category, which, opening it up, obviously there is a far and away, in my opinion, of these 3 decks that we've picked here, there's far and away one that's way better, and that's probably Trap Shadal.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Do any of these stand out to you?
I definitely agree that Trap Shadal would be a great recommendation to a budget player or someone in need of a deck to start out with that is looking for some competitive action. Man, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So the cool thing about Trap Shadal is you can literally, if possible, technically, it was all structure deck. So you can go to a Walmart or maybe on TCG. I don't know exactly what the listings are on TCG. But technically, MSRP on this is $10. So in theory, you should be able to go to your local Walmart, Target, TCG, whatever, order the decks for $10 each for 3 of them. And in theory, you should be able to play this deck. That's $30 for the main deck, and then if you want $20, maybe some of our budget staple cards from later in the video.
Definitely pick up a Cross Sheep and a Dimensional Shifter. Those are 2 major cards, and that's like $5 for the both of them.
Yeah, Gravity Controller's cheap, and then even if you can't find the deck itself for $10 for the whole structure deck and buy 3 of them, you can also just literally go on TCG and order all the singles you need from the structure deck in common for almost nothing.
Oh, yeah, like the only expensive card in the entire deck that you can buy that's over $5 anyway is getting your playset at Wendy's at $15. That's for 3 of them.
Right. In fact, it might actually be cheaper, even if you can find the decks at $10, to still just order the cards online.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then everything else is under $1. Cross Sheeps are about $4.
Even for the rare?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like $3.90 and then like $4.30 between the rare and the ultra. So I rounded out $4. Gravity Controller, another really important card, is only about 50 cents. Super dirt cheap. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. Then you could spend that extra $20 that you saved or however much you saved and go get some of the other staple stuff. I don't recommend picking up DD Crow because with Aerial, it's just triple DD Crow.
Yeah, maybe not the best option to take into the deck, but
if you go that route.
Yeah. Was there any deck you wanted to talk about, Micah?
For budget under 50?
Yeah.
Ha! Yes! Paleo Frog!
I figured.
Tell us a little bit about that deck and how it works.
Well, first off, you're going to have to buy very low rarity stuff. So, sorry to those who are the rare hunters, if you will. We love this deck because it is by far, in my opinion, the best trap deck that you can possibly play. And by that, I mean it's all the traps are searchable by Trap Trick, which has a common printing, I believe, in a structure deck.
Yep.
Yeah, and all the frogs work together with the Paleos as well. Paleos are level 2 Aqua. Paleos are unaffected by monster effects, but they're considered normal monsters. And this is different. I gotta say this. This is different than playing with Eldritch, because Eldritch are still considered traps. And now, when you're playing something like Amazement, it works great with Paleo in the new meta coming up. And I also think that price,
the ability to set your common traps to set your normal traps from the deck is unmatched.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then you got Camera Roster, like I mentioned earlier, will let you.
You can say it's Amazement.
Nice. Camera Roster helps set and everything and activate. It's kind of like a mini Trap Trick, if you will, without having to banish your own copy. But yeah, and then you make Toad, and not just Toad, but you have Opabinia and you have Animalcularis, and you got the whole party right there, man. It's one of the most underrated decks, and every time I beat someone with Paleo Frog, they look at me like, I just lost the Paleo Frog.
And I think the most expensive card in that deck is probably Totally Awesome, which now that's got the rare printing is like, what, $4?
Yeah, $4 to $5 for the
$4 to $5.
Yeah, and even then, I assume it's a case you don't need it. Is it like a 3 of, or you don't absolutely need it, but it's great to have?
It's a 3 of, in my opinion. You can play it at 2 if you were really trying to, like, if you couldn't get it, if you're like, oh man, I only got 2. I'm gonna let that be your excuse, but I'm gonna give you my 3rd one to borrow for the tournament if you're playing frogs and I'm not, because I want you to play 3 freaking frogs.
Fair enough.
So, outside of the Toad, I don't think there's really a card over $5 in the entire deck between common printing, structure deck printings, and things like that, right?
Sorry, can you repeat that question again?
I said, I don't think there's really a card in the deck that's over like $4 or $5 outside of Toad itself, right?
I don't believe so. I think all the frogs are reasonably priced except for Ronintoadin. Let me pull that up real quick. I believe Ronintoadin, as we speak, its highest rarity is $15, but its lowest rarity is like $1.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I think that's definitely within within the range of it's still budget under $50. Now, granted, sure, not every deck we talk about here is going to be right in that range, especially obviously once you include some hand traps. Like if you want to put in a playset of Ash Blossoms, you're over $50 right there, but you can play these decks without the Ash Blossoms using other budget alternatives, and you can build out and flush out a 40 card deck and side deck and extra for right in that $50 range. It's doable.
I mean, in 1 or 2 cases, you might go a little over to 55 or 60, but it's fine.
Right. The other deck that I wanted to talk about that I've actually played against in tournaments recently is PK Fire, and even to a certain extent, you have is it Trap Burning Abyss? Yeah.
It's like Trap Burning Abyss, and then PK Fire, which is Phantom Knight Burning Abyss.
Right.
Where it kind of combines the Burning Abyss stuff with the Phantom Knight stuff, because they're all level 3 dark monsters. So it kind of flows in together. They kind of flow into each other great.
Right.
Burning Abyss's whole shtick with their trap cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then even if you're just running pure Burning Abyss with the trap lineup, you can easily throw in stuff like Torrentials, which you can get for pennies.
Oh, yeah.
And flush out the deck, and you don't even need the PK stuff, which some of the PK stuff is kind of expensive, but I mean...
Well, I mean, the only expensive PK card is
Torn Scales.
Torn Scales, which are 15 apiece, which you only need if you're doing pure Phantom Knights. If you're not, and you're doing, like, Phantom Knight Burning Abyss, you can get away without them. You don't...
Or even just 1, and you're still under 50.
Yeah, even just 1, you're still under 50.
Did you guys ever play Fire Lake in Burning Abyss?
No.
I've never played Burning Abyss personally. In fact, I've only played against the deck a few times because we weren't in the game. We left the game right before that deck released. So we, for the last 5 years that deck's been topping and stuff, we just haven't been in the game.
Yeah.
Totally. That deck is...
What is your experience with the deck?
Woo! Shoutouts to my best friend, Jake. He is one of my best friends out here, and he plays Burning Abyss and Phantom Knights and PK Fire. I mean, he's the guy that knows all the dark combos of decks. I'm the guy that knows all the water combos and water-based decks. We kind of talk to each other about strategies towards each attribute, and because I'm always coming in with Mermails. So if he sees me coming in with Mermails, he's like, "Uh-oh, he's gonna play something crazy. I better go with something trappy like PK Fire or PK Fire Trap or whichever one of the 2 trap." And that deck, dude, Burning Abyss, Phantom Knights, and PK Fire together, all 3 are something that I personally, I'm like, I gotta get my hand or I'm screwed right now. Because this is something that you really, really need to be prepared for. Beatrice, Dante, the whole, oh my gosh, Cherubini for cost. I always forget that. I always forget Cherubini for cost.
Yeah, it's a good deck. Dude.
Oh yeah, and before Premium Gold, the only expensive card in the entire deck was Beatrice.
Yep.
But with her reprint, you can now get a Beatrice for under $1.
Right, you can get Dante's that are commons. Almost everything is either gold rare or regular rare. The deck is really like dirt cheap. And before Ghost from the Past, Fog Blades were expensive, but now they're only like $1 or $2. So
Yep.
I definitely got to say, like, Common Dante is the most OP card in the deck. I mean, not only does it mill 3 and boost and do all the same effects that a normal Dante does, but it stares at your opponent in the face and says, "Do you know who God is? You're looking at him."
Yeah, that is kind of what it does.
Whenever I see someone beat me with Common Dante in a BA deck or PK deck or whatever, I shake their hand strong. Gotta give it to Common Dante.
Oh yeah. The next up we got Salamangrates. Now, the most powerful card. Now, the most expensive card in the deck. Normally, this is going. I don't care about budget. Would absolutely be the access code talker at $110. You don't need it. Without the access code, you can build the whole deck for under $50. The most expensive card is Balinx at $6.
right, and I mean, if somebody listens to this a year from now, they'll say, "Wow, access code is 110. That's wild." Okay, well, the Megatons haven't hit yet. It hasn't been reprinted. We expect the reprint coming soon. So, in 6 months, this deck could be realistically played for, even with access code, under $50 to $80. But for now, with access code, it would probably run you around 150.
Yeah.
But you can play it without access code. You can sub in something like Crusadia Avermax.
Boral Sword is really cheap.
So, you have other options there, but access code talker is one of the best cards in the deck. So, not being able to play it does hurt the deck. So, but other than that, like you said, the most expensive card is Balinx. So,
yeah,
but it's a cheap deck and it's powerful.
And it's an anime deck. Shoutouts to anime decks.
Yeah, and it's an anime deck.
That is always critical.
I am
Speaking
a very...
of anime...
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, do you think?
My personal favorite anime deck that I still try to find a way to make good is Legendary Fisherman.
That's awesome.
Oh, I hope it happens one day. I really do.
Well,
where's the legacy support for Legendary Fisherman? Come on, Konami, get on this.
Come on.
We got Legendary Fisherman 2 because we got 1, then 3, and then we got 2. And I played a Mermail Legendary Fisherman Phantasm variant that I saw in the OCG, and I brought it to a local one day, and I went 3-1 with it.
No.
That's awesome.
I also need to mention, in the budget for under $50, there was a question that you guys asked me earlier that I'm also going to throw into this, and you were about my experiences and topping and everything. I gotten my invite 4 years in a row, not just with Paleo each year, but with Phantasm being my first year ever topping, and it was Zoo Norden.
Like Phantasm Spiral?
Yes, it was Zoo Norden format, and John Moore has a video.
Wow.
On it. And I got X 2-1, I believe, and the one tie, and 2 of those rounds were like buys or no shows, and that's totally fine. But still, I got 15th place with it, and I went to Chicago that year for the Nationals. And I had a great time. I met Chris from Rogue Hero or / Innovation YGO is his old name, but Rogue Hero. Shoutouts to Rogue Hero. I met him there. I met YGO Paisano. I met a bunch of. I got Yugi Nono to sign my stomach. I'm the guy in his video that he signed someone's stomach. And yeah, it's just it was a great time, man. Phantasm, that deck, I tell everybody, please give this deck a shot. This deck is so underrated. Somebody topped with Eldritch Phantasm recently on an MCOL 40 video, I believe. And like that it's so cheap. Everything's common. You only need Floodgates and like back row, you know, and Megalo Smasher X. That's the only monster that you play. And then you just constantly make a token.
What's hilarious is I bought a collection from a guy, oh gosh, I don't know, it had to have been 8 months ago at this point, and I buy this collection. I'm going through it. I mean, it took me weeks to go through all this stuff. And as I'm going through everything, I look, and he's got in a deck box the entire Phantasm Spiral deck. And I literally remember, at this point, I only been back in the game a few months.
Mhm.
I looked at it, and I was just like, what in the world is this? I started reading the cards, I started looking at it, and I was like, I don't know if this is good, but it's funny.
It's not meta relevant at all, but it can definitely surprise someone if they're not prepared for it.
And the ability to run things like skill drain just
Oh yeah.
cannot be understated.
Okay. Now, talking about, speaking of anime decks, moving on to the $100 category, we have Code Talkers. Yeah, you can build a Code Talker deck for under 100, except, of course, Access Code Talker.
Yeah, that's going to be a recurring theme here.
Yeah. But, like, the most expensive card in the deck is just straight up Synapse Mining, which are about $5 a piece. Let's see, and then you also have a $10 X code, $10 Firewall. The Corruptor Iblis are about $12 for a playset.
And you need Baylanks for this. You need a Baylanks for Salamangre, and you also need Baylanks for this, and they're like $6 a piece.
Yeah, and then you also need a Link Karibo, which is about $5 because it only has one printing.
No, it's got two. It's just that even the commons are $5.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for about $65. So basically, you get all that for about $65. Everything else for the deck can get for under $10.
Do you think that the deck can work without Access Code Talker, though?
Probably. I think you can sub in Crusadia Avermax, and it would...
Yeah.
It would...
Avermax or Boral Sword, again.
I think you would have to put in both, and it would be situational.
What do you think about Zero Boros in the deck for the rank 4?
Alright, well, here's the catch. You're going to have to tell us what it does.
Oh, Zero Boros! That's my favorite Link 4, bro. Shoutouts to Zero Boros. Let me just pull up its text real quick and read it completely.
Okay.
Topologic Zero Boros. Card text. 2+ effect monsters. It is 3,000 attack, and it's a Link 4, so no defense. You cannot summon or set monsters to any extra monster zone this card points to. And it's got the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. So a square. If another monster... it gains 200 attack for each banished card, period. If another monster is special summoned to a zone a Link monster points to, while this monster is on the field, banish all cards on the field once per turn during the standby phase of the next turn after this card was banished by its own effect. Special this banished card. So... I'm just gonna put it in paleo text. Link 4 into Topologic Zero Boros, okay, in my left zone, let's say, and I have no other monsters on field. Then I special summon Ronin Toadin by banishing Dupe Frog for cost. Ronin Toadin lands on the bottom right corner of Topologic Zero Boros zone, and the whole board is freaking wiped. And not only that, he comes back. Let's say your opponent doesn't get anything. He comes back and blows up, and gets 200 plus. So for each banish. So he's basically a Grin Maju and a board wiper and a constant revival.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, that's while you were explaining the effect, I actually went on TCG Player real quick. You can get them for under $1. You can get them for under a quarter, like 20 cents. Here's one for 38. Dirt cheap card.
You might actually have it in your bulk if you bought the Structure Deck Rocket Revolt.
Yeah, because it was in there. It was also in Battles of Legend Armageddon. Both times it was an Ultra.
And what's awesome about Paleos is you can special summon a Paleo to one of the zones, and the Paleos are unaffected by monster effects, so they're going to stay. And everything else is going to be destroyed.
Wow, that's... Yeah.
Just like Zeus.
I don't exactly know if it's like super duper playable in Code Talkers specifically, but it's always an option, right? Because the beautiful part about having that flexibility is that if you wanted to, I think the deck's really hard to play without Access Code Talker. It just is.
Oh yeah, because Access Code has a lot of interactions with
the other Code Talkers.
Yeah, and then also there's a spell card whose name escapes me at the moment that interacts with Code Talkers as well.
Are you talking about the one with all of them on it?
The secret rare one?
Yeah.
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 And then there's the Code Talker trap card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that it's playable without it, but that said, the deck's better with it, of course. But
Oh yeah.
if you're not playing it, you can play something like Topologic Ouroboros, something like Boral Sword, whatever. You can play one of these cards and still, or you can even play 2 or 3 out of those, depending on your extra deck space and tightness, because the deck can easily link climb into something like that. So, I mean, the beauty of it is, as long as your extra deck accommodates it, you can play multiple of these Link 4s and kind of adjust your game plan accordingly to whatever situation is happening. So, now, the next one is one that is very near and dear to my heart, which is Fluffle. So, people that have followed the Chalice Line monthly or follow NBT really closely might already know about this. Some people might be hearing about this for the first time. This is a deck that it released, I believe, firstly in like 2015, 2016. It was waiting on some support cards for a really long time.
It actually started out as an anime archetype in the Zexal anime.
Wait, really?
Yeah, okay. So, like, the Zexal anime starts out with the main character at the school. This other dude who was pretty much just the exact same person as the people who as the guy who used Morphtronics from 5Ds.
Oh my god, that is that guy!
Design.
Whoa, that is that guy! That's the same design!
But no, it's the Fusion Dimension form of him.
I never thought about that. Wow.
Yeah, anyway. So he comes in and he used Fluffles because it's a fusion deck. And he's from the Fusion Dimension because that's the way the anime works.
What's really cool about his character, his character in general, is that he's a freaking sociopath. And he's just so psychotic, and he'll be playing it cool, and he'll be like, alright, cool, I'll summon Fluffle this, Fluffle that, Fluffle whatever. And then his opponent's like, huh, Fluffles, these are stupid. And then he summons Edge and Saber or plays like Fluffle Fusion, and then his fucking eyes just widen like Merrick, and he's just like, you aren't even ready for this, Fusion Soakin'! And he like closes his hands together and like just gets like
all the way Five Nights at Freddy's all of a sudden.
Yeah, yep. And he just becomes, he like laughs with his tongue out and like just like crazy. I have moments like this kid where I'm laughing maniacally whenever I make 3 Toad in one turn.
Dude, it's so fun. It's so fun. And the funny thing is that the deck... Okay, so...
Oh, Arc V.
As
not Zexal. Arc V, guys.
Arc V, thank you.
Yeah.
We're still stuck in the Zexal era.
It's okay. I got some people on my stream right now, and they're correcting me. So...
Oh, no. We like corrections.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so... It's really rough for us because we left in the Zexal era, so we still think, like... We have trouble remembering all the different... It's like, there's been like 3 animes since we left the game, so it's super difficult for us to keep track of, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like after 5Ds, it gets fuzzy.
Yeah. So, but the thing that I love about this Fluffle deck is that it is currently... Like, they have a Discord server literally just for innovating this Fluffle deck. Because the deck right now is kind of going through like a renaissance of being innovated on, because they had a guy that him and his friends were talking, he already had his invite, and they said, you should enter the extravaganza with a different deck, because he plays Dino a lot. And he said, well, what would I play? And they said, well, play Fluffle. And he laughed at them. And then they said, no, read the cards. And then he read the cards, and he decided to play Fluffle because the cards are all broken. Like, if you actually sit down and read all the cards for Fluffle, the cards are insane. Every card adds another card or more. Like, the ability to recycle Toy Vendor, which is a soft once per turn. You literally, every time they get sent to the graveyard, you add either an Edge and Sabers or a Fluffle monster or Fluffle card, I think, from deck to hand, which is insane. And it's a soft once per turn. 1 Foolish Burial Goods is full combo.
Plus,
literally full combo.
And Vendor and Wings, man. Vendor and Wings.
Yes, being able to recycle wings, just the ability to Vendor, send, the ability to send wings to the graveyard, banish wings and another Fluffle, draw a card, send vendor, draw another card, get a search off vendor. It's literally insane. And then with the new combo, you can run something like Necrofusion and recycle your wings. So you only have to play one.
Necrofusion
now they're all
is
playing
spicy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, it's good. And like the only expensive cards out of the entire deck, you spend about $50 on your playset of Penguin, your Fluffle Octopus, and your Fright for Kraken. You spend about $50 on that, and then you can get everything else for what?
Pennies.
Pennies, because they all have multiple printings, all at common. Just that those cards only have one printing, and I think Penguin and Octopus are currently undergoing a weird buyout situation right now as well.
That's the only reason that those cards are expensive. Octopus was pennies. It was like a 20-cent card. Now it's like an $8 card. Penguin was the same way. It was like 50 cents.
You know why?
Now it's like $7-8.
You know why?
Yeah, because it got top 4 and top 16 at the Jocelyn Monthly, and it came within 2 places of topping the Elastic Extravaganza.
Even better. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Rank 4 into Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark effect. Xyz Toad.
Summon Toad.
Yup.
That's only like
we did
a
it, boys.
small part of how broken the deck is. That's only a small part of how broken the deck is. Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
insane.
It's just a thing that they can do.
Yeah, which is an insane thing that they can do.
And for those of you who don't know, Bahamut Shark's only about a $5 card.
Yeah. So you pay $5 for the Bahamut Shark, $4 or $5 for a Toad, and then what did we say, like $40-$50 for the rest of the Fluffle engine?
Yeah, outside of the Octopus, Penguin, and Kraken.
Even better.
Yeah, so go ahead.
You can play Barnyard. Have you guys ever heard of Barnyard?
No, what is that?
It is Fluffle, BA, Shaddoll.
That sounds like fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is amazing. Shoutouts to Sam Cox and Team Bropire. Shoutouts to Yugi No. Sam Cox is a genius player. I don't remember. I think he lives in Oklahoma. He's one of the best players in Oklahoma, and he played during that whole entire Arc V formats of having to deal with all the crappy little Performapal cards that we got in the packs. But like, as long as like Fluffle's been in those packs, all the way until, gosh, I want to say until Link format, he was playing something similar to that. He was playing Barnyard or just Fluffle in general. Fluffle don't even have a Link, and they're still freaking amazing. I love that deck.
Dude, that deck is awesome. My favorite thing is that, so I never thought about it, but one of the new innovations that's just come out in the last like week, I mean, this is really new for the deck, is they have a combo where they go through whatever the combo is, their line that they go through, which I actually, hilariously, I have the deck sitting on my desk 3 feet from me built, and I haven't learned the combos yet. But they'll go through using Lilith, Lady of Lament, to search Necrofusion if they didn't hard draw it.
What?
They'll pile up their... Yes. They will pile up... They use the Pendulum Monster, Fright for Meister, to search Lilith, Lady of Lament. They'll load up their graveyard with all the with all the Fluffles and Edge Imps that they need. And their end board is really unassuming. It's like a 3-negate Appaloosa, an Artifact Dagda, and 2 set cards.
That's
the thing
amazing.
Here's the hilarious part. Oh, and a Cross Sheep and a Dag. No, it's not even a Dagda. It's just an Appaloosa, a Cross Sheep, and, hilariously, 2 set cards. And the 2 set cards every time are Necrofusion and an Artifact Scythe. And what you do is you Necrofusion, go into a Tiger, you can pop like 5.
Yes!
And then you pop your Scythe,
Yes!
and you lock them out.
Bro, dude, that's what I do with Mermails, basically.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
it's great.
And then you could even link, or you could link in a Needle Fiber in Fluffle somehow. I've seen it, and then you can go into TG Wonder Magician, pop your Scythe, and then boom, Scythe comes out.
Wait, is one of them a tuner?
No, they don't have any synchros, but you can play, a hand trap with like one of the Ghost Girls that are tuners, like Ash. I think Ash is the only tuner.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dang, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, and I play that all the time. When I play Dagda in Mermails and I can't get to Dagda, then I just go into TG Wonder Magician.
Yeah, so you can literally buy this deck, probably foil it out in a lot of ways, because hilariously, this deck doesn't run like Ash Blossom or things like that. You can buy the entire deck as played in the Chalice Line monthly mostly for probably around $80. This is a deck that's beating Eldritch. This is a deck that's beating Dragon Link. This is a deck that's beating some really good Tier 1 decks, because guess what? Pop 4, have an Appaloosa with 3 negates, and have and Scythe Lock your opponent turns out it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, how many decks can really deal with that?
Not a lot. The only issue with the deck is that it's ridiculously complex. People don't understand. You will get decision paralysis from this deck, because every opening hand, you have 800 million lines of play. Literally. Because every card does something else. It all searches out another... Every card searches. So when you have every card searching, you have to think about which cards to search at every junction. Which card's better? Which card's better in this situation? Which card's better in this situation? You know, do I have I baited the Ash Blossom yet? Do I want to go for this or that? It's insane. Having Fright for Patchwork, having Edging Up Chain, having Toy Vendor constantly searching and recycling. It really is a busted deck. It's broken, and it's good. It's got its weaknesses, but it's good.
Well, I mean, what deck doesn't have its weaknesses?
Yeah, but I am in Ronin's streaming right now. I'm in Micah's stream, and dude made a good point. Deck dies to troll. I mean, it dies hard to troll.
Oh yeah. But I mean, that's just one of those things you got to keep in mind when playing the deck.
Yeah. So
Better have that call by the Graven Hand.
right.
Yep.
So yeah, the last deck we have listed here for under $100 is actually Prank Kids.
Yeah, it's like right in there in that $100 range.
Oh yeah. The only expensive cards are Prank Kid Place. They're like $20 a piece. You need 2 of them, so it's like $40 right there. And a Doo Doodle Doo, which is like $12. Everything else is doo doo. Anyway, Doo Doodle Doo is like $12. Everything else is under a couple of dollars a piece. You can build a deck. You can absolutely build the deck for under $100 if you.
Or right in that range. Obviously, like a lot of them play like access code and stuff. And sure, if you want to play the access code, kind of defeats the purpose of what we're talking about here. But yes, you can do it.
Oh yeah. But or you know any of those other cards we recommended be replaced for access code if you're trying to stick to a budget. It's also, again, Boral Sword.
Right.
Zero Boros, as Mike pointed out.
So
another great card to keep in mind. Stuff like that.
Do you have any experience with that deck?
Oh yeah, I do. Okay, so I'm gonna tell a quick story real quick, and I am not gonna give any names because I don't want them to hear and be like, "Yo, why'd you tell this story, bro?" So all I'm gonna say is the best player in Washington, in Seattle, Washington at least, the best player. He knows who he is. He's got a very, very big ego to back it up, and I love the guy to death. Okay, there's no disrespect to this guy. He does have a way of getting angry when he's losing, and he does have a way of sharking, cheating, not cheating, soft cheating, and just a very not great reputation in the card game community. But he's a good guy, and I have mad respects for him. Anyways, so my buddy Drew went to this tournament at my local. It was an OTS, or it was a box tournament, or a case tournament. I don't remember. I think it was a case tournament. Either way, the best player in Seattle was there. All of his friends were there. I was not there. From what I heard from multiple accounts, basically this dude was playing the best deck at the time, which I believe was Thunder Dragon, and in this format, and my buddy Drew bought Prank Kids, and this is like
this is before Meow Moo.
Or this guy brought Sky Striker. This guy brought Sky Striker when it was like OP as shit, and Drew brought Prank Kids, and Drew wrecked him, destroyed him, 2-0'd the guy, destroyed him, and the best
based
player.
On your description, based on your description of this happened, this is before Meow Meow Mew came out.
Yeah.
Yes, way before. This is Eternal format, like dealing with or toss format as they call it.
I love that name, by the way.
Yeah. Shout outs to Thunder Dragon, Orcus, Sky Striker, toss format.
And Salad.
And Salad, yes. So toss. So basically, my buddy Drew beat the best player in Seattle 2-0 with Prank Kids. Had to deal with all of his soft cheating, all of his you can't do that, or oh yeah, my card can do that, or the whole getting antsy towards time of the round, slow playing, it's a big thing in competitive, man. I don't know why, but people really love to play like that, and so basically he wouldn't shake his hand. He was completely rude, and he said, "You're not even gonna make it past the first round at Nationals." And Drew was like, "I'm not even going to go to Nationals, bro." He got his invite and everything that day, and he's not even going to go to Nationals.
Wow, that's funny.
It was an OTS. Okay, it was an OTS. Yes, I'm sorry. But again, I was not there that day, so I can't give you the full-on detail. But that is the story that is going around the shop and the city, and it's amazing. I love that story. It's one of the best stories to ever tell about Seattle.
So, we're going to jump on ahead here to the $150 range, which we're going to kind of blow through it because we are actually hilariously, and we're not going to rush it, but we are actually already over on time.
Ooh.
It'll be fine. It's not that big a deal. We go over on time all the time because we are terrible at time allotment.
Yeah, but I mean, also our whole time thing is just kind of a suggestion.
Yeah, it's kind of a general rule of thumb, not necessarily a hard and fast rule.
Time is just a perspective, though, if you think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so first off, $150. It's literally just take the Salem Mangrave stuff, buy access code. Bam! $150 spent, you got a deck.
Literally, just the same deck, just add access code, and you're right at that $150 mark.
Yeah. Let's see. You can also build the entire Tri-Brigade deck for about that much.
Yeah, so the fractals are 25 to 27, and you need 2 sure eggs. Those are expensive. Those are 25 also-ish, so 3 and 2 will run you about 125, and it leaves you not a lot, but a little bit to flesh out the rest of the deck. Kits are pennies, Nervals are pennies, Crosses are pennies. You can get 10 keys, commons, and stuff real cheap. And at that point, you can kind of flesh in another engine if you want to. There are budget options for other engines out there if you want to do more than pure Tri-Brigade. But you can run pure Tri-Brigade. It is a deck. I don't recommend it necessarily, but it's a deck.
Mm-hmm. It exists.
Right.
Let's see, and then we got the actual Eldritch Core itself, which is about $130 for the whole core.
Yeah, the only reason I know this is because I priced it out to sell my Eldritch Core the other day, and I was like, Cursed Eldlands are down to 30, 35, something like that. All the traps are about $4 each, and the Golden Lords are about $4. And I added it all up, and I was like, this is only $130. It's way cheaper than you would think.
Oh yeah. But then that still leaves you with $20 to fill out the rest of the deck with.
Torrential Tribute, Solemn Strike.
Yeah, stuff like some traps or couple.
Very, very small Zodiac engine if that's the route you want to go. Just a little bit difficult because, no, Chalkanine just got to go to a reprint, but
yeah,
it's hard to do any kind of a Zodiac engine without Zeus.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then of course Pure Zoo itself, if you only get 1 Zeus. The issue with that though is then
you really need 2 Zeus to run that deck.
You really need 2 Zeuses, but you can get away with it, but you're going to be losing a lot because you need that second Zeus.
The only thing about Pure Zoo is that there are ways to buy it with 2 Zeuses and still get the whole deck, which is specifically if you can get a deal on 2 Zeuses, because I know there's places you can find them under $60 now. I think I sold one online for $59, which is just like 15% lower than TCG Player. It's not like that crazy. But if you can find one in that range, then you can definitely, like, if you can do 2 for like 120, you can pretty much get the rest of the deck probably in that $30 range. I mean, Rams are cheap, Whiptails are cheap, Rat Pierre you only need 1, you know, Thoroughblade's kind of expensive, but you can get away with like 1, flesh out the rest of the deck with a lot of stun. I don't think it would be necessarily great, but the ability to go Zeus or double Zeus is unmatched. It's so powerful.
Oh yeah. So buyer beware.
Right. Do you have any decks that you would add anything to?
Definitely. Oh, heck yeah. Shout outs to my boy Pac, and also my best friend Brendan. By the way, I have a lot of best friends out here. I don't really know the difference between a friend and a best friend at this point. Everyone's my best friend.
It's all love. It's all love. Whether you're a friend or best friend, it's all love.
Brendan is a friend of mine that comes over to my house a lot, or just plays online with me, and always plays Earth Machine right when I'm about to play Plunder, and it always screws me up. But not just that, Winter Kills also has done a deck profile on it just as deep as he does his Mermails. I mean, it's almost the same kind of concept. Like, everything's working together, like how Mermail Atlanteans do with Earth Machine. Mm-hmm. And you have so many different routes. You can go Karakuri, you can go Despot, you can go Ancient Gear, you can go Super Heavy Samurai. Like, and I know what I'm saying right now sounds like really whack and wild, but all I'm saying is Machina and Infinitrack go with any other Earth deck that you want to play. But Machina and Infinitrack, for $150, you can build a good deck of that. I bet you could put 2 Zeuses in there too. I bet.
You could probably get close. I know the Harvesters are like 15-ish.
Well, if we
past
play with
Harvesters, I know Libe is cheap now.
Yeah, we got a reprint recently.
Are we just talking about the core? Or are we talking about like vortexes and everything too, or like? Or are we talking about like?
We have vortexes. I'm sorry.
I mean, lightning vortex and like droplet and everything for 150. Like, we're not throwing any of those in there. Are we just talking about like the core for Machina and Infinitrack?
So specifically for MIT, like a lot of these decks, even if you wanted to build the entire thing, main, extra, and side, you could build them for under 150. But you got to remember that even with something like, something like Trap Shadal, sure, you can build it for under $50, but you got to understand, like, you're not going to have like 3 Ash Blossom in there. You know, you can build Prank Kids for under 100, but you're not going to have your access code. You can build, an Eldritch core deck, but you're not going to have, you can flesh it out with other options. So I would say that MIT, even fleshed out 100%, is not, you can build it under 150 without having the super high-end stuff,
Definitely. And yeah, you can still do that with MIT. You can still do that.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
yeah.
Now, personally, I've got Droplet in mind, but that's because I'm wild.
Nice.
Got that forbidden drip.
Yeah, I spent entirely too much money on that card, but we're not going to talk about that.
Oh yeah. Like, as far as I know, the most expensive card in MIT is the Harvester's like 15 a pop, like Sonny said.
Now I got to pull out the deck and look through it and see what's actually expensive in here. I don't even know anymore, bro.
As we're talking about pricing, I got a guy in my chat named Auberton _YT, and he goes, "Why is everything in America so expensive? Out here, the whole core of Europe is like $50." I'm just shaking my head. Are you
serious?
But think about it, dude. Think about it. You're also paying for shipping. You're also paying for the difference between the euro versus the dollar. So, like, I feel like if you just need it, just go to your local store and just buy the deck. Support your local store.
I feel that, and there is an enormous amount of truth to that. I think part of what you have to remember, though, and this is so critical, and people think I'm crazy when I say this, the European market and the South American market versus the North American market is completely different.
It's a joke.
And it's almost entirely because of round after round after round of stimulus checks causing huge buyouts in the American market. I'm not saying that they haven't gotten government aid or government assistance through the coronavirus pandemic in the European countries, but I'll be honest, I don't know that the stimmy checks have caused the buyouts like they have over here. I mean, everything is like triple in price over here.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking through this deck, and even like urgent schedules are like $5-6. You've got things like, I think heavy forwards are, I want to say like $6-7.
Yeah.
Things like that. But the metal crunchers, those are expensive. Those are like $20 a piece.
Yeah, the Machina metal crunchers.
Those are expensive.
You can still. I'm pretty sure if you substituted some typical staples for some very cheaper staples, and maybe like took out.
They're down to 11. I'm sorry.
Took out a copy of something and replaced it with a cheaper version of it from a different like text of some kind. Maybe throw some MSTs in there instead of Vortex or like whatever. Like yeah, you can totally do that.
Yeah, I think you can do it in specifically that deck because like metal crunchers are at $11 a piece plus the say you run 2 Leaps, those are like $6-7 for the reprint version. That's like the only expensive-ish card in the extra deck. You've got the Harvesters are like 10 to 15 each. Yeah, I think that deck's definitely realistically buildable, even like complete pretty much for right at that $150 mark. That's a great observation. I didn't even think about that when we were doing show notes.
Yeah,
that's why I'm here.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that's why we. Yeah, I mean, that's why we have people come on the show because then they bring up stuff like that.
Absolutely. You have any other decks you want to throw in?
Yeah, I got a couple. Let's see. Trying to think what I've been wanting to get. Infernoble. I don't like fire types at all, and nothing against people who play fire decks. It's just Infernoble was the first fire deck that made me say, wow, I like that. That's a really cool deck. And Infernoble is, I don't know, it's just cute. Like, you could have made VFD with it back in the day. You could have, now you can make a whole bunch of different things. There's an Auroradon combo with like Despots and stuff.
That deck is still really versatile.
Yeah, it's got a huge ceiling. Also, for $150 or even under, I'm just gonna throw some more out there. Mystic Mine, which I also don't like. I also don't like Altergeist, but play Altergeist if you want to try out some trap decks. And Mermail. I mean, Mermail for $150 can get you pretty far if you don't mind low rarity. If you don't mind, maybe some water spam instead of like link spam, and like, there's a whole different option for that. And then finally, I just want to say, shout outs to, gosh, I just lost it. Shout outs to Appliancers again. Just play Appliancer. I play it for fun on my stream, and I just gotta say, like, for $5, man, like, just to go back to that is by far the best option for anybody in Yu-Gi-Oh! $5. What are you gonna lose? $5. Okay, cool.
$10, like I said, $10 if you get the Ultimate Falcon instead of the Beals.
There you go. $20, and you got some crazy spicy tech that Uncle Mikey over here is gonna bring you.
Yeah, you did mention Mystic Mine, and this was something that I saw in another video earlier today that the more I think about it, we were talking about this when we were doing show notes because we almost included Mystic Mine in the $150 range. I don't really think Mystic Mine is budget anymore because you almost have to play 3 Prosperity. It increases the deck's consistency so much that it's almost just impossible not to play it. Like, the deck, without Prosperity, that deck becomes like borderline unplayable. Even without Prosperity, though, the Mystic Mines are like $10 each, which I guess is not that bad considering. But
Pot of Prosperities, by the way, are $100 a pop.
Yeah.
Nice. I pulled 2 of them out of really packs. Good. Yeah, I'm the pack puller of my group. I last pack in Target, always I get the prize card.
Nice.
Very nice. Hey, every group's got that one guy who pulls like mad.
I kiss my friend's cards. I'll go, and then I'll open it, and then I'll like give them the whole card. I'll take that one holo, and then I'll look at it, and then I'll turn it around and be like, I told you! OTS is like, oh man, you bring me to an OTS tournament, I'll get you all the OTS that you need, girl.
What's hilarious is the only time I ever have just insane pack luck. And it's every time. It's not sometimes. It's not every other time. Every time I go to any kind of like main event, like a regional, a YCS, whatever. I've been to several regionals. I've been to one YCS. I never fail to pull insane. I remember my first regional, I pulled a ghost rare. I've pulled $50 secrets. Every single time. It's like the packs that they send for those are extra stacked to like encourage more people to go. It's insane.
I will say one last thing. Sorry, one last thing. My worst luck is the remote duel extravaganzas, and I've been recording myself opening these packs and just screaming like, "Gosh darn it, freak!" But like obviously not those words. And I'm really tempted. The third one is coming in the mail. The next one that I'm waiting on. And if I don't pull anything from this one, I'm making that video. I'm gonna make a whole compilation. I'm gonna have pictures or videos of me like punching and breaking and fighting stuff and like ripping stuff apart because I paid $20 to enter this tournament. I go 4-4, 5-3, like whatever. I don't top. I expect to pull something good for my weight. They give me freaking Merrick packs, and then they give me freaking what is the one? The one with Drytron in it.
Blazing Dumpster Fire? No, Genesis Impact?
Yeah, they gave me Impact and they gave me Merrick. I would have taken Blazing Dumpster Fire in a heartbeat. Because it has good cards in it, somewhat. Prosperity, you know?
Yeah, dude, those other packs are so bad.
But I have to say, like, sometimes I really, really do take out Prosperity for the other pot. Extravagance, yes, sorry. I just want to draw 2. I don't care about the 1. Either way, you can't draw for the rest of the turn. Why not just, and you don't need the extra deck, so why not just get rid of some random stuff and just draw 2 if you're set up for it already. But like I
that is true. The extravagance is hilariously enough a budget alternative versus the prosperity and Mystic Mine specifically. Just the extravagances and the mines will run you probably close to 130, 140. But the rest of the deck, as far as I know, is like super duper cheap.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Like the cheapest pot of extravagance are about $30 a pop.
Yeah, so you can get 3 extravagance for 90 and then turn around and get your 3 Mystic Mines for another 25 to 30. And that leaves you like $25-$30 at least to get all the rest of your deck, which in that particular deck, you just get like Poison to the Old Man and Prohibitions and stuff like that. Amano Towado or whatever that card is called.
Yeah.
And Silent Wabi, I think. Stuff like that. And yeah, you can flesh that deck out rather cheap.
Shoutouts to Jeff. Definitely. Shoutouts to Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't want to shout that out. I don't want anything to do with that. I lost that deck at the last round of the last tournament I went to. And I was just like, you
don't support Jeff Litter? Dude, that guy's... He's a dad playing Mystic Mine and beating little kids, dude. And beating 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. Like, dude's an old... Like, not old, but he's been in the game since day one with his kid. And he can't keep up with the meta. So he's like, I want something slow, like my pace that I can play. And I don't have to think. And Mystic Mine is that deck, dude. And I just respect him so much for playing that deck. And, like, getting... Dude, he's gotten tops at ARGs with that deck. Or PPGs, I think.
So going back to there's always that one dude who pulls like crazy. We used to know this dude. His name's Jason, right?
Oh, dude.
He would go to Walmart and would just kind of look at the packs. He'd pull them out and just kind of,
hold them in his hand. Just hold them in his hand.
And go, this is a holo. This one has a holo. This one has and just pull out all the blisters that had holos.
Just off of just holding them in his hand. Just like they had an aura or something.
And I swear to God... He missed, like, his hit and miss was, he missed once.
Yeah, his hit ratio is, like, way up into the 90 percentile.
He missed once.
I've seen that dude pull, like, walk into Walmart and walk out with nothing but, like, secrets and ultras and supers when they were not guaranteed, and like ghosts. Like I've seen that dude go in and buy 10 packs and pull 10 hollows, and dude, you're just absolutely cracked right now. Like
Yeah, it was
crazy.
It was ridiculous.
So
Before we actually came on air, started recording and all that, we actually made up a list of
some cheap staple options.
yeah, just some cheap staple like top 10 best under $5 cards.
Yeah, just a card to have, not necessarily just right now, but in general, a card that, how do you say, a card that would just be good to have, both in the current format and in general, and is less than $5. Something you can just throw into these decks, main or side, and just tech it in, and it will be a good, cheap card.
Oh yeah, great for new players who are trying to who have a deck and they're still trying to flesh it out, but they don't have a whole lot of money to spend.
Yeah, like I literally have a Mega Tin just full of these cards, just because they're generically good cards to have.
Wait.
Right, so start.
You keep your cards in a Megatin?
I keep some of the like super low rarity, low cost stuff that I'm not using at that moment sleeved in a Megatin. Yeah, because you can put the cards in sleeves like vertically in a tin.
Yeah, if it's
perfect.
Can I like if these cards are shiny at least, or cards that you use on a daily basis, could I possibly mail you a binder that I don't use?
I don't use these cards very much at all, and almost none of them are anything worth more than like stuff on this list, like Cosmic Cyclone, like dude copies, like common stuff. Like I've got a really nice binder for like my prosperities, my droplets, and things like that. But you know, actually, I take it back. I know for a fact that tin has a prosperity in it right now.
Well,
so my list.
Yeah, I know. There's something wrong with me.
So my list. So at the top of my list, I had Psi Frame Gear Gamma and a driver.
Yeah, we rank these 1 to 10 in orders of what we would want.
Yeah, so like Psi Frame Gear Gamma / driver, they're like $4 a pop. The driver is less than $1.
Right.
Great card, great monster to gate. And then number 2 for me was Dark Ruler No More, which is right now at like $5.15.
Yeah, it's okay. Technically, it breaks the rules, yes, but
it's like 15 cents.
It's right there.
Yeah. Then we got Dino Wrestler Pangertop, also known as Pank.
Yeah.
Cosmic Cyclone / Twin Twister, because they kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, you can get both of these cards for pennies, and it's kind of format dependent which one you want to use. Right now, Twin Twister's a better card. 6 months ago, I would have said Cosmic.
And who knows? Who knows? The next couple of months, it might switch back to Cosmic Cyclone.
Right. So we kind of grouped them up.
Yeah. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, Artifact Lancia, DD Crow, Torrential Tribute, Effect Veiler, and Forbidden Chalice.
Yeah, the main thing that's really interesting to me is Ghost Belt. I think that's a card that will kind of go in and out depending on the meta. But I mean, some of these cards like Pankratops, Cyclone, Torrential Tribute, Forbidden Chalice, these are cards that'll just be generically good to have like forever.
Oh yeah, there's probably never not going to be a format where those cards aren't useful.
Right. So, you got any takeaways, Micah?
I definitely agree with this list. This list is very sexy. DD Crow is one of my favorite hand traps of all time. It's also one of my favorite cards in Bird Up. It's just so versatile in Bird Up.
It really is.
Oh yeah, Bird Up is the only situation I can think of where DD Crow is better than Ghost Spell.
Right.
Specifically in the main deck too, because you can search it.
And when we get to my pick, I have a argument about Ghost Spell that I would like to get to. But I also respect the fact that you guys chose Torrential Tribute. That's one of my favorite classic traps that's still being used to this very same day. And I play that in Paleo. It's searchable by Fury of Kyriushin. It's freaking amazing. And then obviously Effect Veiler. I mean, that's Imperm on legs. And Cosmic Cyclone. I completely forgot that that's actually accessible for under $5. Same with Dark Ruler No More. I'm just waiting for that to go up to $10.
Yeah, those are cards that, like you said, they're definitely gonna like rise in price. But like as of right now, like you jump on it, like you can get these on a budget.
Oh yeah.
And so just for everyone in my stream that is just now tuning in, we are talking about cards that are under $5. for side
Yeah,
deck
best-
or main.
Yeah. Best budget staple cards in general.
Sorry, I just got like an influx of people.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike is streaming this while we're recording. It's very efficient. I love it.
Yeah. Jumping into my list. My list is hilariously, like, I think around 8 of me and Caleb's cards literally just overlap in one place or another on the list. Probably because we play together so often. We go to the same locals. A lot of what we see is the same. So that probably is what's pushing our opinions so closely in the same direction.
Yeah.
Which is why I love having Micah's list here, because it's very different from ours in a very good way, in that he's got a very different experience than we do. So it's great to see what his different locals, what his scene, and what his experience on Dueling Book and things like that is. So, but my list, in the number 1 spot, I've got Torrential Tribute, coming from somewhere where I've been playing a lot of Control recently. Whatever I've talked about, don't let that fool you. I just got done playing Zulich, and I'm going into another Control deck now. So, to me, Torrential Tribute is one of the most busted cards in the meta. Right now, we're in a very combo-centric meta. It's insane. And not just in right now's meta, but in general, Torrential Tribute is an insane card.
Oh yeah, if you there's a lot of decks, you hit them at the right spot with the Torrent in their combo,
It just ends it.
they just pass turn.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Number 2, I've got Dark World and More. It's the only budget option as of right now that will break a board.
One card break the board.
Yeah, it's the only one that'll do it. Solemn Strike is broken. Book of Moon ends turns on any combo deck.
Any combo deck that isn't fusion related.
Yeah, so like Tri Brigade, Prank Kids,
Dragon Link,
it really, really kills. Number 5, I have Imperial Order. That card is particularly busted right now, but the card's good overall. People are already calling for it to be rebanned, even though it's been errated, which is a crazy thing to think about. And it's interesting to me to see how this card's going to ebb and flow in formats. With the common printing, it is very cheap. You can get it even at a higher rarity. I think you can get an Ultra for like $4 or $5.
Yeah.
But the card's very, very, very good, especially right now because of things like you can play against Mystic Mind and just end their whole career. You can play it against the Invoke Shadal Dogmatica deck. It's very good there. It's got matchups where it's really good. So I've got Imperial Order on my 5. Now my 6 is Cyclone Twister. The removal's always important to have. It's one of the most important things in the game. 7 is Artifact Lancia. It's a turn skip against certain decks. Number 8 is Ghost Bell. Being able to stop your opponent's graveyard shenanigans is important right now. Number 9 is Pankratops. Always generically good. And number 10 is Forbidden Droplet. Being able to do effect negations is
Forbidden Chalice.
I'm sorry. Forbidden Chalice. Yeah. Droplet's also good. I can afford it, but that's not really the point of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but yes, Chalice is a very good card, and it should not be forgotten about just because Droplet exists.
Oh yeah, just because Droplet exists, just because Gamma, just because all those cards exist, Chalice is its own
Powerful card.
powerful monster card.
Yes.
Yeah. Now for the thing I'm really excited about. Do you have any thoughts on my list before we go?
Yeah, I do. Also,
Let's hear it.
thanks again for saying Torrential Tribute. Dark Ruler no more. That's definitely a thing. I personally don't side Solemn Strike. I don't find situations where I need to side Solemn Strike in because I'm already playing Solemn Strike. And the only time I'm personally playing Solemn Strike is if I'm playing a trap deck. And I just feel like there are so many different ways around something than having to pay life points when you're going into game 2 or 3, depending on how much time is left. And I know I'm not the only one, chat, that can say this, but I've definitely played Solemn Strike, Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, all the Solemns, and even Imperial Order 2, citing it in Mermails, and I found myself being like, uh-oh, that life point time of the round call, freak. Yikes.
Oh yeah, I have a friend that lost a match literally last weekend because he cosmicked somebody in game 3.
Yup.
20 seconds before time got called on round, and he was facing away from the clock and didn't realize it.
Yup.
I definitely respect Book of Moon. I'm excited to test out the new Book of Moon in the new Lightning Overdrive pack. Imperial Order, same thoughts as Solemn Strike, but I actually really respect it. It's also a one of. I don't think it'll ever get hit again. In fact, I feel like you could play 3 you'll be fine.
No, I don't.
I'm a trap player though.
3. It's really yeah. I tend to err on the side of traps too, but like Imperial Order, that card like is really good still. I don't know if you could play. I don't know if you would play 3 just because I feel like it would get kind of cloggy. You can only really have one up on the field at a time, you know. I don't know. I guess you could.
One of my friends said you cite in Firecracker just to make the blow heavier with Strike. That's pretty nice. I also, let's see, Cosmic Cyclone and Twin Twister, definitely. I prefer Cosmic right now because you don't want... I always fear Dracos, man. I know that's random, but like the whole Draco effect where pop, okay, cool, graveyard effect because it was pop. This. Yeah, I hate it. Lancia is one of my favorite hand traps. Ghost Bell is great, but I got a contradiction to Ghost Bell I'm about to explain. Pankratops is awesome. I miss it at 3. I feel like it could come back to 2 and we'd be fine. And Chalice is one of my favorite spell cards. My favorite quick play spell card ever, too. Now,
it's hilarious that Chalice was the only card that was on all 3 of our lists.
Yeah.
And it landed in the exact same spot on all 3 lists.
Oh, there is one thing real quick before I forget that Forbidden Chalice has that none of these cards can do. Only Chalice can do it.
What you got?
It can be activated during the damage step.
Forbidden Droplet can do that.
Yeah.
Forbidden Droplet can do that. I mean, of the cards that we've listed so far.
Wait, Chalice can do that too, yeah?
Yeah. That was why he brought it up.
Oh, yeah.
It's still relevant in the battle phase, but...
So, I'm going to start from number 10 and work my way up Simo style. Number 10.
Let's do it.
Number 10, I find Chalice. Chalice is like... It's just... so good, but like it's cheap. There's commons, there's gold rares that are like I think not even $10, not even $5 probably under 5.
Yeah, you get Chalices really, really cheap.
And then you could use it in the damage step. There's a lot of different ways that Chalice can boost you even when you're losing that attack, or you could use it on your opponent, even though I find
Chalice is a really versatile card.
I find Chalice, gaining attack, not losing attack. Sorry, I find Chalice to be just really handy. I mean, I played it in Gladiator Beast like a mofo, dude. That card was so great, and also in like just beatdown in general. It's just good. Good old punch in the face, and it also just negates effects. Like things happen. Number 9, I said Paleo Dinomischus. That's my favorite Paleo trap. Next to Morella. I have a huge defense on Morella if you guys ever play Paleo and want to test it.
The really interesting thing about Dinomischus is that you say it's your favorite card in Paleo, but you got to remember that card's playable in a whole lot more than Paleo.
And that's why, dude. You remember in Zoo format, everybody was playing Dinomischus in Zoo. And
no, we don't remember that.
Oh, you don't? Oh, well, I mean,
we were in the game.
Well, that's an open topic. But yeah, I mean, if you go back to like Spicy Tech in Zoo format, I immediately thought of Dinomischus in Zoo. I'm like, okay, boom, Dinomischus. Okay, Zoo, Dryden's gone. Move on. And also, it comes back as a normal monster, like I explained earlier. They're unaffected. It's unaffected by monster effects. It can make Toad if you got 3 and somehow you got 2 on the field. It's a great, and it targets for cost. That's what I love the most about it. It targets for cost.
Yeah, it's super versatile. It really is.
My number 8 was Gamma and Driver, because I feel like maybe under $5. Like each card, and I picked 10, so technically there's 11. But Gamma and Driver just go together. You need both of them, and
Well, yeah, I feel like Driver's just included in the game package.
Yeah.
Driver's since, but I feel like at one point Driver was spiking up before it got like a reprint of some kind. And
Yeah, it got another rare reprint.
yeah.
Yeah, same set as Gamma, the
Oh,
Toon
Toon
Chaos Rare.
Chaos. I love that pack. Rest in peace. But yeah, dude, Gamma and Driver are super great. I love going second with Grin Maju or Mermail and playing that in there. Number 7, I put Skullmeister. Now that is my defense against the dark arts of Ghost Bell. Skullmeister does what Bell can't do, and it stops Banish for cost.
Yeah.
All around.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot that Skullmeister got a reprint recently.
We literally, the second we read your list when we were doing shows, we looked at it, we were like, how in the world did we miss Skullmeister?
Yeah.
And we thought about it, we were like, oh, we still thought it was a $10 card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to Google
We literally
that one.
both had it in our heads. We were like, we can't put Skullmeister on that list. It's not under 5. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
This is a really great card. I had that card in secret rare at one point, and then I sold it when I found out there were super rares coming out in that. I think it was that invoked pack or some kind of pack. They got a super printing, and so I got those, and I had some change on me, and I've kept those ever since. And Orcust, I hate Orcust format. I hate it. And Skullmeister was the bee's knees of that format for me when I was playing Mermail.
I get the sense you don't really love that format that much.
No. I had no fun, man. I had to play... I mean, I loved playing Thunder Dragon. I got my invite with it. But I couldn't play Dinosaur. I couldn't play Grin Maju. I couldn't play Paleo. I couldn't play Mermail. I couldn't play Musket when I was playing Musket at one point. I couldn't play Trickstar because they hit stuff, I think. Or Trickstar was just... I don't know. Something around there. Something Trickstar and me just didn't click. I didn't play Trickstar. I didn't have Trickstar. Something. I don't know. But Orcust was just going around the Seattle area. It was the most cancerous deck at the time, and I was like, I need to get around this. And I sat at home, I looked through all my cards, and I'm like, Skullmeister's my baby, and it just always stops that banish for cost. And that's something that Bell can't do all around. You might banish for cost, sure, banish for cost is fine, but then boom, Bell, I'm not going to let you do it. Depending on what that effect is. But there's some effects that Bell can't get around from the banish for cost on Graveyard, or Graveyard effects in general, and that's where Skullmeister comes in and is just like, nah, I got this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, I can imagine there's probably one or two circumstances where Ghostfell is better than Skullmeister, but just based off the banish for cost, in my opinion, would absolutely make me want to run the Skullmeisters over Ghostfell.
Exactly. And that's why I don't play Ghostfell. I just don't find her... I find Ash and Skullmeister to be a better combo than having Ghostfell.
Yeah, definitely.
So my next choice, number 6. Number 6 is where the fun really begins for me in this whole entire chat.
I can definitely tell.
Spiritualism. Spiritualism was told to me on a stream that I had this weekend by I don't remember who, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for whoever told me. But I had a moment, and someone was like, why don't you try out spiritualism? And I tried it, and it was so fun. And I don't know if you guys know what that does, but let me just pull that up real quick.
While you're doing that, I'm not going to lie. When I read it, I was like, wait, you're talking about this card, right? And so I had to pull it up and double check. I completely forgot that card existed.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it, I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good.
It's a GOAT card. It's a really old card. Spiritualism says, return one spell or trap from your opponent controls to the hand. This card's activation and effect cannot be negated. And I never knew that last part existed. I always thought it was just the first part. Because, Mandela effect. And I'm 30. And I've been playing this game since I was 12, off and on. So
that's crazy. I never even knew this card existed until you sent your list over. What's the application here?
I want to say it was Bob Bobcat Blackout told me. I could be wrong. The application in this situation that I was using it in was on field spells, on like Mystic Mine, on field spell in general, like Necro Valley and Zombie World and stuff. Back row floodgates, like Imperial or not Imperial, sorry, like Royal Decree. I had someone
TC Boo.
Yeah, TC Boo. I had someone bring Royal Decree to a tournament that I was going to be in because they knew I was playing Paleo. And I was like, okay, and I was playing online, and I was like, okay, I'm going to side this. And I did. It was amazing. And Spiritualism is just a beautiful card. I really respect this card. And then my next number, that would be number 5. Number 5 is Geonator Transverser. And that is my favorite common link in the whole entire game right now.
I did tell Caleb what this card was and what it did.
I love
this card.
I love stealing cards from people. Toad, hippity hoppity, get the heck off my property. And so basically, Geonator says 2 effect monsters. It's a rock, it's a link, and it's an effect. It's 1200 attack, link 2, Earth. This link card and monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card points to 2 monsters, you can you can switch control of those monsters. You can only use this effect of Geonator Transverser once per turn. And just all those effects right there are just so good. And so first off, the link cards, your monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Okay, so they're playing dinosaurs? They're trying to destroy stuff? No. Dark Hole? No. I'm just saying Dark Hole in general.
Other generic destruction type effects.
Regeki Break. These are the dreams. Regeki Break when it was meta. But then the second part, it points to 2 monsters, switch control. Okay, I play this in Toad, and then I make Zeus. Zeus pass, have some traps, stall them out. They got something. And then I switch. Or they got Zeus, I'm sorry. They got Zeus. Whoa. I get Zeus. Boom. Boom. Game. And I love this card so much. And my also shout outs to Gravity Controller. That is also another choice that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
It's more situational.
There's definitely... Yeah, it's more situational, but... I mean, it's got its applications where there are certain decks and certain things that it's just better in, like Shaddoll, Invoke Dogmatic. I mean, Pure Shaddoll, Trap Shaddoll. I know they play Gravity Controller because it's just better.
Oh yeah.
I love Gravity Controller. I was thinking about putting that in there, but I just thought that was more situational. And Geonator is more easier because people don't really think about Geonator also. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but not a lot of people go for the middle zone, and not a lot of people go for the extra deck monster zone area below those extra deck monster zones. And so Geonator comes in, and there's a monster in the middle zone for some reason, and then boom, Geonator's just like, it's mine. Here,
hilariously,
take this.
I remember when Drytron first came out, it was very common in that deck to run both Geonator Transverser and Relinquished Anima. So literally the only place that a monster was safe on your opponent's field was their far right zone by their graveyard. Because any other zone could either be stolen with Geonator Transverser or Relinquished Anima, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Anima. Anima is a great card.
It really is.
But situational, though. And that's where DD Crow comes in. Woo! But yeah, DD Crow can make Link Rebo. It can make Anima. It's a great card under $5 that you guys said. I didn't choose DD Crow, but I'm just giving that a shout out because we're talking about Anima. But number 4 for me is a spicy tech. And I know that a lot of people in my chat are probably going to disagree with me, but I think that Winter Cherries is a very spicy tech. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries is a very spicy tech for this meta and just in general, because you never know when you're going to play a format that revolves around having to have the boss monster of your extra deck, having to have Dragoon in order to win. If a deck doesn't function and needs Dragoon in order to win, go for the Dragoon. If you're playing against Zodiac, go for the Dryden. If you're playing against Eldritch, go for one of the trains. Yeah, you got to side these things in, but these can, or you can main them just to be spicy. But like, I'm trying to give an example of something that everybody plays. Appaloosa, to stop Goki combos or whatever. Boral Sword, Savage Dragon.
If you're running a deck that doesn't have an extra deck, you can also just throw a Striker in there and then just hit D-Link saying that they can't summon Striker Dragon.
There you go. And yeah, it's just such a good card, and I miss this card being somewhat relevant. I think during Spiral format, that card would go after the Spiral Double Helix, and then Spiral's like, oh, hi, lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, so like in a format where there's fewer decks that care about that have extra deck space to throw that kind of stuff in, or there's a format where there's a lot of the same extra deck cards running around, that's when Winter Cherries is amazing. Granted, right now we're in a format where there's just way too many decks running around, these completely different extra deck monsters. But definitely pick them up while they're cheap now, because if that ever happens,
it's just such an interesting tech that sometimes people don't see coming, especially in mirror matches. And especially in a tier 0 mirror match format, like, you automatically win.
Sure.
Shout outs to me playing that in Zoo format. That was such a great card. My next choice, shout outs to everybody that knows this spicy little hand trap, and especially Logan and Brian from Crush Cards. Contact C. Let me pull this up, guys.
Oh, we know what Contact C does.
Yeah, dude. I was going through some bulk here recently, and I found a bunch of them, and I was just like, I'm just gonna pull all of these out.
Oh yeah, they're good. It's
Contact
good.
C. Yeah. It just stops your opponent. It's like, here, take it. It's yours. You can't do anything.
Now do something with it.
Yeah.
Did you pull it up?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and read it for the people maybe listening that are like doing something and don't have time to look it up. What do we got?
It says when your opponent normal or special summons a monster or monsters, in quotes, except during the damage step, : you can special summon this card from your hand to the opponent's field in defense position. This card's controller cannot fusion, synchro, exease, or link summon unless they use this card as material. And it's a level 6.
That is so hilariously good.
Yeah. The only downside is it's got a 22 defense booty. But you can still get over that. You can pop it. You can destroy it, whatever. You can banish it. You can get over it. But yeah, I definitely have this. I think I have at least 6 copies of this laying in my extras down below me. But yeah, I can just give this to Zoo. I can give this to Eldritch. I can give this to Madolche.
You can also give it to Dragon Link.
You could give it to me, and I'll be really, really mad. I'll be so mad if you guys give this card to me while I'm playing Paleo. Played against Dragon Link. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's so good because there's not a lot of ways that you can use it. Like, yeah, you can make Nightmare Phoenix or something, but like that'll stop your zonage if depending on where you're at in the combo. Like, there's no way you can really get around with it. It's not really a great card to have on your field. Moving on to number 2. Obviously the Kaijus, except for Godarla.
Yeah, I was about to say, any kaiju not named Godarla.
Yeah, it's personally my favorite mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever. And when I was getting back in with my ex-girlfriend, I was looking at all the cards and everything, and kaijus were coming out, and I am a huge Godzilla fan, and I am just a huge Gamera fan. I like turtles more, just as much as if not more than I love frogs. And I'm still waiting on a turtle archetype Konami. Like that's actual supportable and not just like random generic cards that have the word turtle in it. But Gamma Seal, my personal favorite kaijus to use right now that aren't Godarla are Gamma Seal, Radian, Jizukiru, and that's about it. But Dogaran and Thunderlord or Thunder King and the Spider are a little bit more situational for me, and I don't really like giving him those. I like giving him the turtle because the turtle's the weakest. I also like having Radiant on me because he's 28, and I also like having Jizukiru on me because he's 33. But like Jizukiru is a light machine, so you can play that in Cyber Dragon, and you can just give it to them, and then you can play Cyber Dragon, or just play Cyber Dragon in general, and give it to them, play Cyber Dragon, Contact Fusion.
I was gonna say, like, and the reason why we keep saying not named Godarla is because Godarlas right now are like $8.
Yeah, that's absurd. Thanks, Bird Up. I appreciate you. And I believe
specifically
Slumber.
Barry Statue of the Stormwinds.
I believe Slumber is under $5. Let me just double check real quick. Kaiju Slumber.
Yeah, I'm like 9% sure it's like $3 to $4.
Okay. But yeah, so and in Kaiju Slumber, it just blows up the whole entire field. I'm including that in the actual Kaiju package, if you will. Just to double check, it is $5 on the dot. From what I'm seeing,
There we go.
501. Sorry, okay, 501. But
Yes, close enough.
But
Close
yeah, in Kaiju Slumber, I mean, it goes with the kaijus. That's why I'm including this, kind of like the Gamma Driver thing. Kaiju Slumber destroys the whole entire field. Special summons 2 kaijus in attack with 2 different names, and then they gotta attack if able. And then also, like after it's banished, like the next turn, you could banish it from the graveyard, and then you can search for a kaiju. So your engine keeps going. But if you play that in a Kaiju Luna control deck, and you got Kyoto Waterfront on the field, like, dude, it's so wild. Kaijus are such an underrated engine. I love Kaijus. And then finally, number 1, can everybody guess it? Guess what? It's Super Poly.
Card's insane.
Oh yeah, now I just want to say, whenever I read Super Poly, I felt absolutely disgusted with
our
myself.
foreheads got warm because we just started slapping our foreheads like,
Yeah.
how did we not put Super Poly on our list?
Especially me, because I play shit all.
That is literally the reason that card got banned. It was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
we know what we did wrong. We're sorry.
That card is absolutely insane. I cannot begin to express enough how much I think Spell Speed 4 should not be in the game at all. I really don't agree with the concept of Spell Speed 4. I don't even like the Forbidden Droplet. You can discard cards to make it Spell Speed 4 on command. I hate
that's disgusting.
I hate everything about it. I hate Super Poly. I hate everything. It makes me salty and unhappy as a player. And I
love it though. I love it. I had a duel. Shoutouts to Logan from Crush Cards. We were in a Winamat, and we were both playing Super Poly in our deck, and I was playing Paleo Eldritch, and I brought out the Eldritch, and I had Haquero on field, and she freaking Super Poly'd into Mad Lord. And I'm like, what? Let's go! Okay! Because guess what, boys? I had a Super Poly on my hand! And guess what I did? Super Poly'd it into that! It was great!
That's awesome.
It was
oh my god, that's hilarious.
It was so freaking dope. And she was laughing, I was laughing, and it was just one of those moments where you're just like, wow, Super Poly. Super Poly.
Heck of a card.
And
Oh yeah.
that's my list. What do you guys think about it?
There's some cards on here that I've never heard of, spiritualism
Yeah.
mainly, but there's also this is the beautiful thing about this, is that you can ask 5 different people and get 5 different lists. Obviously, me and Caleb had the same list on accident, but honestly, depending on what you see around you, Super probably could be the best card around you. You know, Kaijus, you could, you know, I don't know how we missed Skullmeister. You know, I didn't even have Gamma and Driver on my list, but I acknowledge that it's a great card to have. You know, Dino Mishkus, that card's insane. It's so interesting to get so many different perspectives on this, and just a sneak peek into the next episode. I don't have the list yet. He's working on it. It's fine. But Pac has agreed to give me his list of his top 10 cards under $5. So I'll have that for the next episode. So it'll be like a little continuation onto this one. So, but I think the more perspectives that you can get, the more options you can have. And for under $5, every card that we've talked about here, probably 25 different cards, every single one of them is worth having in your collection. I have triplicates of most of these cards. Like I said, sitting in that little mega tin, and just drop them in sleeves, stack them in there, and anytime I need a tech option or something, I go through that tin and I always find something.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. Real quick, just gonna rapid fire through some honorable mentions. Appaloosa, she's like $7. Boral Sword is $6. Nightmare Phoenix, Cerberus, or Unicorn, they're $4 for one of
The
each.
set.
Elder Entity Entis at like $1.50. Harpy's Feather Duster at $13 if you really want to spend the extra money. Regeki is less than $1.
Yeah.
The Ghidorah Kaiju is like $8 to $10. Fury of Karyushin is under $1. Its entire purpose is specifically to search out Torrential Tribute.
You're welcome.
But absolutely. I completely forgot this card even existed until he mentioned it. But,
hilariously super playable, and specifically the Penguin deck.
Yeah, Penguin. Any deck that runs lots of water monsters, completely runnable.
Paleo.
Yeah, Paleo. And it basically lets you run 6 Torrential Tributes.
It makes it searchable, which especially in the right matchup, is just insane.
And to end it all off, we got Called by the Grave at under $1.
Yeah, it didn't make any of our lists. I didn't think about it till right before we recorded and threw it in the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
But, that was some stuff that we wanted to throw in. Do you have any other quick honorable mentions?
Yeah. D-Barrier? Dimensional Barrier?
Yeah,
absolutely. It's a card I considered on my list, and I ended up going with some other stuff.
Dude, D-Barrier is by far one of my favorite traps of all time, and
It's super powerful.
Oh my god, I remember during Zoo format when that card came out, I was playing that all the time. And then you could search it with Trap Trick, and then you could play it immediately. It's amazing. Shout outs to my homie Max. He also loves D-Barrier. I remember the good times we had with that D-Barrier. I'm going to ask my chat. I want my chat to throw in some $5 or under cards. I also want to mention, I believe, Blizzard is an interesting card. I want to see play with it. I want to mention that it is very, very much under $5. It's probably like $1. But Blizzard is a quick play. And it says, target one face-up spell your opponent controls, semicolon. This turn, negate the activated effects of that spell and all spells on the field with the same original name. If the targeted card would be sent to the opponent's graveyard this turn, it's added to their hand instead. You can only activate one Blizzard per turn. I believe Simo did a video on it, defending it, and also saying that it's situational, though. But I really like this card, and I'm just going back to you never know who you're going to play at locals. Shoutouts to stupid pants Draco players. How can you still play Draco right now? But Draco is a rogue example. Anything destruction-wise, anything going to the grave, anything, whatever. But, you guys, target Zodiac Barrage. Target a field spell, target whatever, and it's negated, and it's negated forever. And
and I know also another super rare that had come out recently. So that Blizzard, that's a super rare from Rise of the Duelists. And then also another super rare that I think came out of Phantom Rage or Blazing Vortex is Psychic Eraser Laser.
Yes!
Yeah.
Dirt cheap card, very fun tech.
I also want to give a shout out to Mistake and Mistaken Arrest. Mistake is Thunder King Ryo, but a trap. It literally just says neither player can add cards from the deck to hand except for drawing. And I play that in Paleo, still to this day, and everyone gets mad. Yeah, I lose my dupe search, but I have to go to the graveyard instead. But it's still a great trap if you don't need the search. Mistaken Arrest also, there can only be one.
Absolutely.
Geez, what else? Totally awesome.
Yeah, you can say a lot of the floodgates, like
Yeah.
Tikaboo Rivalry,
Brawl Decree.
Yeah.
Goes and match.
Also,
all those floodgates.
the original Kaiju himself, the boy, Lava Golem, and Sphere Mode. I mean, dude, like if you don't mind losing your summons or whatever, shoutouts to Mystic Mine. You can play Lava Golem, and it's just a.
What is Sphere Mode running in price? I know you're on TCG Player, because I think Sphere Mode is like, I want to say it runs somewhere in the range of
$5.75.
that $4 or $5. Yeah, that's still not bad.
Yeah.
And then you can get the Super for $5, you can get the Ultra for $7, and then you can get the Duelist Pack Battle City one for $12.
Yeah, I mean, that's still not bad at all, considering the capabilities they can have. Oh, what's that? You have like a Dragoon and a Borreload Savage and an Appaloosa? Not anymore, you don't.
Gone.
I want to give a shout out to one of my best friends ever. His name is Brian, aka Phantom Void, aka Void. One of his most favorite side techs to use against me and other people is Silent Graveyard, which was originally called Forbidden Graveyard. And it says it's a quick play. It says discard one card, semicolon. Effects that activate in the graveyard this turn are negated. That was
that reminds me a lot of like different Dimension Ground, which is like basically macro but for a single turn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then
but
Shared Ride is the other one.
Yeah.
That
a
was,
lot of these cards came in Dual Devastator, which gave them like super dirt cheap reprints.
Oh yeah.
To where sure you can't buy the Dual Devastator for $40 anymore, but I mean you can buy all the cards that were in it, most of them for 10 cents here or 20 cents here, because it just made everything so cheap.
Dual Devastator is a great product. Anyway, we've gone way over time.
Yeah, we're like an hour over on time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I've really enjoyed this. This has been awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you
We
so
are
much.
going to wrap it up, though. Is there anything that you want to plug at the last moment?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm really thankful that you guys are having me on here, especially for the Lightning Overdrive episode. I wish we had some more time to talk about that, especially I forgot about so many cards that are coming out in that pack and to talk about that format. And I also just like to hang out and duel you guys sometime and just get to know y'all on my show.
Yeah, absolutely. We're both set up on remote duel, so we can definitely arrange that.
Oh, heck yeah. I trust you guys enough. I have a great podcast episode I'd like to talk about my experiences and opinions on remote duels. I know that it would probably upset a lot of people that I know, but I'm willing to discuss my deep thoughts on that.
It's okay, as long as you don't keep the Denko Sekka in the pile right there on the
Yeah.
side.
Bro, did you see that picture of Danko that I pulled up?
Yeah, I did. I did.
I was about to say that right before. That's my last word. My last word is Denko Sekka is my most hated under $5 and most hated like anti-meta monster card to put on the field against me because I'm a trap player, and I just give up when I see Denko Sekka. I'm just like, all right, you win.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I really
thanks a
appreciate
ton,
this.
Micah, thanks a ton for coming on, dude. We always are looking to, have people on, not only just, obviously it helps us reach a broader audience, but it also is a huge help in getting somebody else's experiences, getting somebody else's thoughts and opinions, and really putting out there that no matter where you are and what you do, there's always somebody that's interested, and there's always somebody willing to help out. So thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And my Twitch is twitch.tv/RonintoadinYGO. I hope everyone who's listening will follow. My Twitter is @RonintoadinYGO. Same with my Instagram. So please, reach out. And I have a YouTube, RonintoadinYGO.
Absolutely. And we're going to put links to all of those in the description to this episode of the podcast.
Awesome.
There's an outside chance that since we did go over 2 hours, normally our episodes are an hour apiece, what we might do is we might break it up into 2 episodes. One air Friday, one air Saturday.
Perfect.
Specifically because we can do 2 1-hour episodes.
Perfect.
But we will put it in the description of one or both, whatever we decide to do. Mm-hmm. And thank you so much for coming on. Please make sure to everybody follow us on Twitter, on Spotify, Google Podcasts. We've said it before, we're trying to get on Apple Podcasts, but for some reason they're really giving us some difficulties over that. But you can listen to us most anywhere of the major places that you would listen to a podcast. We upload every, I want to say, Tuesday and Friday.
Yep, every Tuesday and Friday.
Yeah, I get the days a little mixed up because we we record on different days than we upload, so it takes time. But yeah, we record every Tuesday. I mean, we post every Tuesday and every Friday, and we usually have everything posted at like 8 o'clock in the morning. We might start posting earlier. It's really good for your commute to work or home from work. And we want to thank a special shout out. We have analytics for everything that we do, because the host site that we use to put our podcast out there gives us our analytics. And for some reason, somehow, we got a rather significant following in New Zealand of all places. So those of you listening in New Zealand, we see you and thank you. Not just New Zealand, but everywhere, but a large swath of our listenership is in New Zealand. So thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, greatly appreciate it.
And watch out for the Kiwis.
Thank you, guys. I really loved coming on here. You guys are awesome.
No problem. We'll get together again soon, dude.
All right.
Have a good evening.
You too. Take care.
You too, man. Everybody else can also have a great evening. Take care.